Good afternoon, grade 11. So in this lesson, I'm going to discuss the slope of a secant line and slope of a tangent line to a curve. So this lesson is intended for you to have an initial definition of derivative of a function or derivative as a rate of change. We have a shortcut in getting the slope of a tangent line, but as grade 11 students, you need to have an initial definition of what a derivative of a function is. Okay, so let's start by looking at figure 3.1. So consider a function y is equal to f of x defined in an open interval and a point A, this one, in the interval shown in figure 3.1.1. So this is A. So let point P with coordinates A and f of A. So ito yon. So ito yung A is an x value. Ito yung x coordinate. And then its corresponding y coordinate is f of A. So 'di ba itong x value natin ay A. So ito yung function natin y is equal to f of x. So kapag in-evaluate natin itong function using A, so that will become f of A. So meron ngayon tayong point P with coordinates A and f of A. Next, so let point P be a point on the curve y is equal to f of x and another point, point Q, be another point on the curve. So paano natin nakuha itong coordinates ng point Q? So yung x value nito ay x. Yan, x siya. And then kapag in-evaluate natin ito, using our function, so f of x yan, so its corresponding y value is f of x. Kaya ang coordinates ng point Q natin ay x for x value and then ayun naman yung kanyang corresponding y value, f of x. Okay, so sabi dito, the line that is drawn through these 2 points is called a secant line. Okay? Kapag sinabi nating secant line, it touches or it intersects 2 points on the curve. So kung makikita nyo, itong secant line natin, it crosses or it touches the curve in 2 distinct points. We have point P and point Q. So the slope of the secant line through point P and point Q is given by M, which represents the slope, is equal to f of x minus f of a divided by x over a. So kung mapapansin nyo, itong formula na to, wait lang. So, yung formula na yan ay galing din sa slope of a line. So, di ba kung maalala nyo, yung slope of a line natin, ang formula natin ay m is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So, using the coordinates of points P and Q, so we have, wait lang. Okay, so A is x sub 1. This is y sub 1, x sub 2, and y sub 2. Okay, so if we're going to substitute those values dito sa equation natin on the formula of slope, so we have, so y sub 2 is f of x minus y sub 1 is f of a. F of a divided by, ang x sub 2 natin ay x. Okay, so x minus x sub 1 natin ay a. Okay, so kung mapapansin nyo, parehas lang siya dito sa formula in finding the slope of a second line. So, it is derived from the formula in getting the slope of a line. Next, allow the second point Q to approach the first point P. Okay, so itong point Q, for example, nandyan yung point Q, papalapit siya dito sa, kapag nandyan yung point Q, ito yung kanyang second line. Kapag nandito yung point Q, ito yung second line. Kapag nandito naman yung point Q, ito yung second line. And then, papalapit siya ng papalapit hanggang sa mapunta na siya dito. So, the second line approaches line T. Ito siya, line T. Okay, so notice that the line T touches the graph of the function f at exactly 1 point. So kung makikita nyo, itong line T, it touches the curve or the graph of the function at exactly 1 point. Dito ngayon siya sa point P. So a line that touches the function at exactly 1 point is called a tangent line. So remember, if the line touches the curve at exactly 2 points, you call that a second line. Pero kapag yung graph na-touch lang niya yung curve at exactly 1 point, you call that a tangent line. Okay, so to find the slope of a tangent line, ito yung tangent line natin, tama? Yung line T. So to find the slope of this tangent line to the curve y is equal to f of x, so we want the value of x to approach the value a, as this will cause the point x f of x to approach the point a f of a. So balikan natin yung graph natin kanina. So sabi dito, para makuha yung slope ng tangent line natin, so we want the value of x, ito, we want the value of x to approach the value of a. So papalapit ng papalapit yung value ng x dito sa value ng a. And then, this will cause the point x f of x to approach the point a f of a. So the slope of the tangent line to the curve y is equal to f of x through point P will be slope m is equal to the limit of f of x minus f of a divided by x minus a as x approaches a. So nandito yung x natin kanina, nandyan yung a as x approaches a. So kasi habang papalapit ng papalapit yung value ng x dito sa value ng a, that will cause the value of yung f of x natin to approach the value of f of a. Okay? So ang gagawin lang natin is to find the limit of this function, provided that the limit exists. Okay, so this formula, itong formula na to ang gagamitin natin to find the slope of a tangent line to a curve. So kung mapapansin nyo, yung formula natin kanina, ito, yung formula natin kanina in finding the slope of a second line, kukunin lang natin yung limit niya as x approaches a, provided that the limit exists. Okay, so now if we let the distance between a and x be represented by h, we have x is equal to a plus h. This gives us the following definition of the slope of a tangent line. Okay, so this is the formula in finding the slope of a tangent line to a curve. Okay, so balikan ko lang, 'di ba ang slope natin, when you say slope, that is equal to rise over run. Tama? Rise over run. Or pwede rin nating sabihin that slope is equal to the change in y over the change in x. Okay, so kaya tayo nagkaroon ng formula. So as you, gamit tong mga nandito. So this is, okay, so kung makikita nyo, ito yung rise natin. So kapag rise, ang i-consider natin ay dito sa kanyang y values. So we have f of x, and f of a. So kukunin lang natin yung distance ng dalawang to. So we have f of x minus f of a, and then yung run naman niya, so run, dito naman tayo sa x-axis. So kukunin naman natin yung distance ng mga x values. So the distance from x to a, kaya tayo nagkaroon dito ng x minus a. Okay, so the slope of a tangent line, if the point P with coordinates a and f of a is on the curve of the function f, then the slope of the tangent line through point P is given by slope is equal to the limit of f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h as h approaches 0. Okay, so mula dito sa formula natin kanina na m is equal to the limit of f of x minus f of a over x minus a as x approaches a. So naging ganito yung formula natin because we let the distance between a and x represented by h. Okay? So yung distance ng x at a nirepresent natin using h. So magiging ganito yung formula natin. Okay, so yung f of x natin kanina naging a plus h. Okay, so ganito yung ginawa natin. So this is f of x. Paano naging f of a plus h? So ang ginawa lang natin is that we have x minus a is equal to h. Inequate natin as x is equal to, so this negative a, transpose on the right side, magiging positive a plus h. So x now is equal to a plus h. So yung f of x natin kanina, magiging f of a plus h because x is equal to a plus h. Okay, next, minus f of a. So the same, f of a pa rin siya, divided by h. So paano naman naging h ito? So remember that we represented the distance between x and a by h. So x minus a is equal to h. So this is x minus a while ago. So naging h, provided that the limit exists. So the formula that we're going to use in finding the slope of a tangent line to a curve is this one. M is equal to the limit of f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h as h approaches 0. Okay, so for you to have a better understanding of the topic, let's have examples. So for example number 1, find the slope of a tangent line to the curve f of x is equal to 4 minus x squared at x is equal to 1. So we have this function, f of x is equal to 4 minus x squared. And then at x is equal to 1. So we have this, the formula, m is equal to the limit of f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h as as h approaches 0. Okay, so first, So, identify muna natin yung ating A. So, ang A natin dito ay itong 1. X is equal to 1. So, ang A natin ay equal to 1. So, sinubstitute na natin dito. So, we have here limit slope is equal to the limit of f of 1 plus h minus f of a divided by h as h approaches 0. So, ang next na gagawin natin is to find f of a. So, using the given function, f of x is equal to 4 minus x squared. So, kapag sinabi nating evaluate f of a, isa-substitute natin dito sa function yung value ng a, which is 1. So, we have f of 1 is equal to, so ito pala, f of a is equal to f of 1 is equal to, so i-substitute lang natin yung value ng a dito sa x as 1. So, we have f of 1 is equal to 4 minus the quantity 1 squared. So, that is equal to 4 minus 1 squared is 1. So, we have f of a is equal to 3. So, yung ngayon yung ilalagay natin dito sa f of a na nandito sa formula natin. Okay, so we have now m is equal to the limit of f of 1 plus h minus 3 over h as h approaches 0. Next, evaluate naman ngayon natin itong f of 1 plus h. Okay, so gamit itong function natin, f of x is equal to 4 minus x squared. So we have to evaluate f of 1 plus h. So, ibig sabihin, lahat ng mga x na makikita nyo dito sa given function natin, papalitan natin ng 1 plus h. So, that is equal to 4 minus, so this is x. So, papalitan lang natin ng 1 plus h. 1 plus h and then squared. Okay, so kaya meron tayong 4 minus 1 plus h, quantity 1 plus h squared dito, minus 3 over h. Okay, next. Okay. Okay, so next we're going to get the square of this one para ma-simplify natin. So we have m is equal to the limit of 4 minus, so, compute natin, 1 plus h. So squared, so ibig sabihin, multiply it twice by itself, 1 plus h and then 1 plus h. Okay. So h times h is equal to h squared. H times 1 is positive h. 1 times h is positive h as well. And then 1 times 1 is equal to 1. Okay, so we have positive 1 plus h is 2h. Bring down h squared. Okay, so that's why we have this one. 1 plus 2h plus h squared. Okay, so minus 3 over h. Okay, so simplify pa natin further. So that is equal to the limit of 4. Ngayon naman, i-distribute natin itong minus sign to all the terms na nandito sa loob ng parenthesis natin. So the negative of 1 is negative 1, negative of 2h is negative 2h, negative of h squared is negative h squared. So we have m is equal to the limit of 4 minus 1 minus 2h minus h squared minus 3 over h as h approaches 0. Simplifying further, we have m is equal to the limit. Okay, so we have 4 minus 3, or 4 minus 1 is positive 3. So, meron tayong 3 dyan. 3 minus 3 is 0. So, mga cancelled out yan. Cancelled out. Ang matitira lang, negative 2h minus h squared. Kaya meron tayong negative 2h minus h squared dyan over h. And then, simplifying further, ang gagawin natin is to factor out the common monomial factor between these two terms. Okay, so negative 2h minus h squared, ang common factor nila ay h. So, if factor out ngayon natin yung h. So, h times negative 2 is the same as negative 2h. H times negative h is the same as negative h squared. Okay, divided by h. Next, so m now is equal to the limit of negative 2 minus h as h approaches 0. Okay, next, kinancel natin yung h and h dyan. Kaya ang natira lang ay negative 2 minus h. And then, ang gagawin na natin is to substitute the value of h as 0. Okay, so m is equal to negative 2 minus 0. Wala na yung limit doon kasi in-evaluate na natin h as 0. So, m now is equal to negative 2 minus 0. And then, the slope is equal to negative 2. Therefore, the slope of the tangent line to the curve f of x is equal to 4 minus x squared at x is equal to 1 is negative 2. So, ito yung graph niya. Okay, the curve is a downward curve since the leading coefficient is negative. Kaya siya downward. Next, find the equation of a line tangent to the graph of f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 4 at the point where x is equal to 2. Okay, so ang pinapahanap sa atin ngayon ay yung equation of the line na tangent dito sa graph ng function na to at point x is equal to 2. Okay, so solution, we will use the point slope form of the equation of a line. So first, we need to find f of 2. Okay, so to find f of 2, just substitute 2 to all x in the given function. So the given function is f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 4. Papalitan lang natin ng 2 lahat ng x na nandyan. So we have f of 2 is equal to 2 times the quantity 2 squared minus 3 times the quantity 2 plus 4. Simplifying, we have, okay, so 2 squared is 4. So 4 yan minus, this is negative 6. So 2 times 4 is 8 minus 6 plus 4. 8 minus 6 is positive 2. Positive 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. That's why we have f of 2 is equal to 6. Okay, so ano na ngayon yung point natin na gagamitin natin? So, yung x natin ay 2, and then, ang f of 2 natin ay 6. So, we have this point, 2 and 6. Okay, so now let's find the slope. Meron na tayong point. Ang hahanapin naman ngayon natin ay yung slope para magamit natin yung point slope form of the equation of a line. So using the equation or the formula in finding the slope of a tangent line, we have slope is equal to the limit of f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h as h approaches 0. Okay, so ang a natin dito ay positive 2 since we have x is equal to 2, ang a natin ay 2. So sinubstitute natin yung a, value ng a dito. Kaya meron tayong 2 dyan. And then next ay f of 2. So alam na natin na yung f of 2 ay 6. So i-substitute na lang natin dyan. Okay, so meron tayong 2 dito ay 6. Okay, so i-evaluate natin ngayon itong f of 2 plus h. Okay, so f of 2 plus h. So, ibig sabihin yan, papalitan natin ng 2 plus h lahat ng x na nandito sa equation natin. So, we have 2 times, andito pala. So, we have 2 times, so meron tayong x dyan. So, papalitan natin ng 2 plus h. Meron tayong squared, so squared din siya. Minus din ito. Next, 3x. So, papalitan ulit natin ng 2 plus h yung x na nandyan. So, we have minus 3 times the quantity 2 plus h plus 4. So, i-add na lang natin yung 4. And then, yung value ng f of 2 natin ay 6. So, minus 6. Okay, divided by h. So, next, we have to simplify. So, 2 times the quantity 2 plus h is squared. So, ibig sabihin itong 2 plus h ay i-multiply natin twice by itself. So, 2 plus h and another 2 plus h. So, this time gamit tayo ng FOIL method. Okay, FOIL method, first terms. First terms ay 2 times 2 is 4. Outer terms, 2 times h, that's positive 2h. Inner terms, 2 times h, that's positive 2h. And then last terms, h times h is positive h squared. So, we have 4 plus, okay, combine similar terms, 2h plus 2h is 4h plus h squared. Okay? Kaya meron tayong 4 plus 4h plus h squared dito. Next, simplify naman natin itong nandito. So, just distribute 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times h is positive 3h. Plus 4 minus 6 divided by h. Next, okay? So, i-distribute natin itong 2 dito sa bawat terms. So, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4h is 8h. 2 times h squared is 2h squared. Minus. Okay? So, i-distribute ngayon natin itong negative or minus na nandito. So, the negative of 6 is negative 6. Negative of 3h is negative 3h. So, kahit wala na yung x na nandyan. Okay, plus 4 minus 6 is negative 2 divided by h. Okay, simplifying further, we have 8. Oh, wait lang. 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6 is positive 2. Positive 2 minus 2 is 0. So, maka-cancelled out ngayon ito. Next, 8h minus 3h. 8h minus 3h. So, we have 5h. Plus, itong natira na 2h squared. Kaya meron tayong 5h plus 2h squared over h. Next, so m is equal to the limit of, next na ginawa natin is that we factored out h dito sa terms na nandito. So, we factored out h. h times 5 is 5h. h times 2h is 2h squared. So, finactored out natin for us to eliminate yung h. So, ang matitira na lang ay m is equal to the limit of 5 plus 2h as h approaches 0. And then, sinubstitute na natin, in-evaluate na natin yung h as 0. So, we have m is equal to 5 plus 2 times 0. So, the final answer, the slope is equal to 5. Okay, so don't forget that we are asked to find the equation of the line tangent to the graph of this function at x is equal to 2. Okay, so a while ago, meron na tayong point. Yung point natin ay 2 and then 6. So we have the point and then we have the slope. So we can now apply the point slope form to find the equation of the line. Okay, so this is the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m slope times the quantity x minus x sub 1. So yung nakuha nating point kanina is 2 and 2, 6, and then the slope is equal to positive 5. So substituting now the given, we have, okay, this is x sub 1, this is y sub 1. So y minus y sub 1 is 6. Okay, is equal to, the slope is 5, so that's 5 times the quantity x minus x sub 1 is 2. Go. Okay, so simplify natin to. So dinistribute muna natin tong 5. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Okay, now we're going to transpose negative 6 to the right side of the equation. So that will become y is equal to, so pag transpose natin tong negative 6, magiging positive 6. So we have 5x minus 10 plus 6. So that will become 5x minus 4. So this will be the equation of the line tangent to the graph of the function f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 4 at the point where x is equal to 2. So this is the graph of the function. So as you can see, yung point of tangency natin ay nasa 2 and 6. So this is the point of tangency. The slope of the tangent line at a point A on the function is equal to the derivative of the function at the same point, denoted by f prime of A, read as yun, f prime of A. Hence, from example 3.1.1, f prime of 2 is equal to 6. So if we let A be arbitrary and assume a general value in the domain of f, the derivative f prime is a function. So obviously, the slope is different at different points on the curve. Thus, the derivative at any point x on the curve f of x is given by f prime of x is equal to the limit of f of x plus h minus minus f of x divided by h as h approaches 0. Okay, so that's the derivative of a function. So always remember that the slope of a tangent line is the same as the derivative of a function. The slope, the slope is equal to the derivative of a function. So the derivative of f of x with respect to x is the function f prime of x, where f prime of x is equal to the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h as h approaches 0. Okay, so ito yung symbol na ginagamit natin to denote the derivative of a function. So the derivative of a function f is denoted by f prime of x. Kapag f of x, that's a function. Kapag f prime of x, that's the derivative of a function. Okay, so next, so we're going to find the derivative f prime of x of the function f of x is equal to the square root of x, where x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so using the definition, so gamit tong formula natin, yan. So we have f prime of x is equal to the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x over h as h approaches 0. So ang given function natin dito ay f of x is equal to square root of x. Okay, so we have to evaluate f of x plus h using the given function. So ang given function natin ay f of x is equal to square root of x. So find f of x plus h. So ibig sabihin niyan, papalitan natin yung x na nasa function ng x plus h. So that is equal to the square root of yung x na nandun, papalitan natin ng x plus h. So we will have square root of x plus h. Kaya meron tayong square root of x plus h dyan minus, so ang minus f of x. So ang f of x natin ay square root of x. Kaya meron tayong square root of x na nandyan divided by h. Okay, so for us to simplify this part, kailangan nating mag-multiply ng conjugate nito. So, ibig sabihin kapag conjugate, yung inverse niya. So, this is square root of x plus h minus square root of x. So, this, the middle operation or middle symbol is minus. So, ang imumultiply natin ay yung kabaliktaran niya, yung inverse niya, which is square root of x plus h plus square root of x over square root of x plus h plus square root of x. So, bakit parehas yung numerator at denominator? So, di ba kapag nagdi-divide tayo ng the same numerator and denominator, the result is 1. So, parang nagmumultiply lang tayo dyan ng positive 1. That is for us not to change the value of this 1. Parang may multiply lang natin siya sa 1. Pero ang main purpose natin dito is to simplify this one. Okay, so nag-multiply nga tayo dito. So we have square root of x plus h minus x times, dito muna tayo sa numerator part. Tingin muna sa numerator part. Okay, so we have square root of x minus square root of h times square root of x plus square root of x. Okay, so multiplication of radicals tayo. Positive square root of x, ito, tingin dito, positive square root of x times negative square root of x is the negative square root of x squared. Next, ito naman, papunta naman dun. Square root of x times square root of x plus h. So we have square root of x times square root of x plus h. Positive. Next, dito naman sa kabila. So let's have square root of x plus h times negative square root of x. So we will have negative square root of x times square root of x plus h. And then, multiply natin yan, square root of x plus h times square root of x plus h. So we have the quantity square root of x plus h squared. Okay, so we have a law on radicals which says that kapag parehas yung index natin, yung index yung number na nandyan, and then the exponent, kapag parehas yung index and exponent, the result will be the radicand, yung expression na nasa loob. Since square root ito, so meaning ang index niya ay 2 at ang exponent natin ay 2, so makaka-cancel yan. Ang result ay yung nasa loob, yung radicand. So we have the square root of x plus h squared is x plus h. Next. So this is positive and this is negative. So that means that they are additive inverses. Positive square root of x plus h minus square root of x square root of x plus h. So, makakancel ngayon siya. And then, ang matitira ay negative quantity square root of x squared. So, gaya nung ginawa natin doon, parehas yung index, parehas yung index dito sa exponent. So, ang result ay yung nasa loob. So, ang magiging kalalabasan lang nitong numerator natin ay x plus h minus x. Kaya meron tayong x plus h minus x dyan. Next, dito naman tayo sa denominator. So, sa denominator natin, just multiply h dito sa square root of x plus h plus square root of x. Kaya meron tayong denominator na ganyan dyan. Okay, next is to simplify. Okay, so x minus x is 0. So, makakancelled out ngayon yan. Ang matitira lang sa numerator natin ay h divided by itong denominator na to. And then, next is that makakancelled out ngayon itong itong h and then itong h na nasa denominator. So, ang matitira lang sa numerator ay 1 and then divided by square root of x plus h plus square root of x. Okay? And then, substitute na ngayon natin yung value ng h which is 0. So, that will become, so dito sa denominator, so magiging square root of x plus, ang value ng h natin ay 0, plus square root of x. So, parang ang kalalabasan lang niyan ay 1 over square root of x plus square root of x. Okay, so we have 1 over, since itong nasa denominator natin ay similar radicals, okay, so we have square root of x plus square root of x. Ang coefficient nito ay 1, ang coefficient nito ay 1. So, add the coefficients, 1 plus 1 is 2, and then copy the common radical. So, ang final answer natin ay 1 over 2 square root of x. Okay, so the derivative of f of x is equal to square root of x is f prime of x is equal to 1 over 2 square root of x. Next. Okay, so example, given f of x is equal to 1 over x. So ito yung given function natin. Okay, so for letter A, we have to find the derivative, f prime of x. For letter B, we have to find an equation of the tangent line to the graph of f of x at the point where x is equal to 2. Parang yung ginawa natin a while ago. For letter C, find an equation of the line that is perpendicular to the tangent line to the graph of f of x at x is equal to 2 and intersects it at the point of tangency. Okay, so let's solve for letter A. So, ang gagawin natin sa letter A is to find the derivative. So, solution for letter A. So, applying the formula. So, we have f prime of x is equal to the limit. Okay, so itong f of x plus h muna. F of x plus h. So, evaluate ngayon natin yan gamit itong given function na f of x is equal to 1 over x. Okay, so ang denominator natin, nasa denominator natin yung x. So, ibig sabihin yan, papalitan lang natin ng x plus h itong nandito. So, we will have 1 over x plus h. Okay? Kaya meron tayong 1 over x plus h na nandito. And then, minus f of x. So, ang f of x natin is equal to 1 over x. Kaya meron tayo dyang minus 1 over x. divided by h. Next. So f prime of x is equal to the limit. Okay, so ang ginawa natin dito, solve muna natin itong nandito sa numerator. So we have 1 over x plus h minus 1 over x. Okay? So, first we have to find the least common denominator. So, we have the denominators x and x plus h. So, kunin na lang natin yung product nila as the common denominator. So, we have x times the quantity x plus h. Okay? So, the LCD divided by x plus h, LCD divided by x plus h is equal to x. And then x times 1 is x. Next, the LCD divided by x is equal to x plus h. X plus h times negative 1. So we have minus x plus h. Okay, so kaya meron tayong x minus x plus h dito. Over x times the quantity x plus h. Kaya nagaganyan yung numerator natin. Next. Okay, so ang next na ginawa natin ay dinistribute lang natin itong negative dito sa mga terms na nandito. So the negative of x is negative x and the negative of h is negative h. Okay, so ang next na gagawin natin ay we're going to multiply means and extremes. So parang ginawa natin na ang denominator nitong h ay 1. So x minus x, na-cancel yan. Kaya ang natira lang dito sa part na to ay negative h over x times the quantity x plus h divided by h. Saka natin nilagyan ng denominator na 1 para mag-multiply tayo ng means and extremes. Okay, so we have negative h times 1 is negative h. And then yung means naman natin, x times the quantity x plus h times h. So we have hx times the quantity x plus h. And then, ang ginawa ko dito ay finactor ko yung negative h. So, ginawa ko siyang negative 1 times h para makancel ko yung h dito at h na nandito. Para ang matira na lang ay negative 1 sa numerator and then x times the quantity x plus h sa denominator. And then, sinubstitute ko na yung value ng h which is 0 dito sa denominator. So, I have negative 1 over x times quantity x plus 0. So, that is equal to negative 1 over x times x. So, we have negative 1 over x squared. So, the derivative is equal to f prime of x is equal to negative 1 over x squared. Okay, so that's the solution for letter A. Let's proceed with letter B. Okay, so for letter B, we have to find an equation of the tangent line to the graph of f of x. Yan yung f of x natin at the point where x is equal to 2. Okay, so we're going to use the point slope form. So find the slope and a point. Okay, so solution for problem B. So find f prime of 2 to get the slope of the tangent line at x is equal to 2. So, nakuha na natin kanina yung derivative ng function. So, remember that the slope is the same as the derivative. So, to get the slope, we have to find f prime of 2 since we have x is equal to 2. So, f prime of x is equal to negative 1 over x squared. Ito yung nakuha natin kanina. So, we just have to evaluate f prime of 2. So, f prime of 2, we just substituted 2 for x. Kaya we have negative 1 over 2 squared, and that is f prime of 2. The derivative is the same as slope m, that is equal to negative 1 over 4. So we now have the slope. Next is for us to find f of 2 for us to have a point. So remember that x is equal to 2. So using the given function we have, ito yung given function natin, just evaluate f of 2. So f of 2 is equal to 1 half since the function is f of x is equal to 1 over x. So pinalitan lang natin yung x ng 2. Kaya meron tayong f of 2 is equal to 1 half. So we now have the point. Ang x natin ay 2 at ang y natin ay 1 half. So we now have the slope which is negative 1/4 and we now have a point. So we can now apply the point slope form. So we have point slope form, y is equal to y sub 1 is equal to slope m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. So y minus y sub 1, ang y sub 1 natin ay 1 half. So we have y minus 1 half is equal to slope natin ay negative 1/4. So we have there negative 1/4 times the quantity x minus the x sub 1 there is positive 2. Simplifying further, we have y minus 1 half is equal to 1/4, negative 1/4 x minus 2. Okay, so ang ginawa natin dito, dinistribute natin itong negative 1/4 dito sa x and negative 2. So, multiply lang natin yung negative 1 dito sa x minus 2. So, negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. So we have y minus 1 half is equal to negative x plus 2 divided by 4. Simplifying further, we're going to transpose negative 1 half on the right side of the equation. Okay, so to solve this one, kinuha natin yung LCD. So the LCD between 4 and 2 is 4. Kaya 4 yung nandyan. Okay? 4 divided by 4 is 1 times the numerator, negative x plus 2 is negative x plus 2. Next, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Next. Okay, so simplify lang natin, negative x plus 2 plus 2. Kaya meron tayong negative x plus 4 divided by 4. Okay, next. Okay, so pwede nating i-divide siya. Pwede siyang masulat as negative x over 4 plus 4 over 4. Kaya ang final answer natin ay y is equal to negative 1/4 x plus 4 divided by 4 is 1. So this is the equation to the tangent line of the tangent line to the curve of the function at x is equal to 2. And then for problem letter C. So dito sa problem A, kinuha natin yung derivative ng function. Dito sa letter B, kinuha natin yung equation of the line. Ang slope natin dyan, the slope of the tangent line is, the slope of the tangent line at x is equal to 2 is f prime of 2 is equal to m is equal to negative 1/4, and the point of tangency is at 2, 1/2. So, ang hanapin natin sa letter C ay yung equation of the line that is perpendicular to the tangent line to the graph of f of x at x is equal to 2 that intersects it at the point of tangency. Okay, solution for letter C. So, when you encounter problems such as maghahanap ka ng equation of the line na perpendicular dun sa tangent line, so ang gagawin lang natin, to find the slope of the line perpendicular to the tangent line to the graph of f of x at x is equal to 2, get the negative reciprocal of negative 1/4. Okay? So, yung slope natin kanina dito sa problem B ay negative 1/4. So, ang gagawin lang natin para mahanap natin yung perpendicular line na yan, we have to get the negative reciprocal. So, the negative reciprocal, ibig sabihin ng reciprocal, interchange natin yung position ng numerator and denominator and then multiply by a negative. So, ang reciprocal ng 1/4 ay 4 over ng negative 1/4 ay 4 over negative 1 and then negative times negative. So, the negative of 4 over negative 1 is positive 4. Therefore, the perpendicular line has a slope 4. So, thus we have, so using again the point slope form, we have, so gagamitin pa rin natin yung point of tangency. Ang papalitan lang natin ay yung slope. So, kapag kinuha natin yung slope ng perpendicular na line na yan, just get the negative reciprocal. So, we have y is equal to y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times quantity x minus x sub 1. So, y minus 1/2. Ito pa rin yung ginagamit natin. This is x sub 1. This is y sub 1. So, y minus y sub 1. Ang y sub 1 natin ay negative 1/2 is equal to, so ang slope natin na gagamitin dito ay yung negative reciprocal. So, that's positive 4 times the quantity x minus x sub 1. Ang x sub 1 natin ay 2. Simplifying further, we have y minus 1/2 is equal to, distribute natin tong 4. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Okay, now transpose negative 1/2 to the right side. So we have y is equal to 4x minus 8 plus 1/2. Okay, so ang ginawa ko na lang dito, kinonvert ko itong negative 8 into a fraction in such a way na magiging similar fraction sila nitong 1/8. So, I have negative 16 over 2 since negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. At the same time, parehas na yung denominators ko. So, simplifying, we have y is equal to 4x minus, okay, so negative 16 plus 1 is negative 15. So, I have y is equal to 4x minus 15 over 2. Okay, so that's all for the discussion for today. Thank you and God bless.